Hello everyone, my name is Kenny.
And I'm Isabel. And today, welcome to our Signia webinar where we are going to bust 5 myths or what some people previously thought were facts about hearing.
Both of us are actually clinical and product audiologists from Signia, Singapore. Both of us also received our Masters of Audiology from the National University of Singapore.
And we are both passionate about raising awareness about hearing. So without further ado, let's get started. Ear candling helps to clean my ears. This is a very common misconception. Kenny, why don't you tell them a little bit about how ear candling works?
So for those who are unfamiliar about ear candling, a candle is first inserted into a patient's ear and then lit up. A tray will be placed around the candle to collect any melted wax or ashes that is generated by the candle itself. So the idea behind ear candling is that it will either generate some suction to remove earwax or enough heat to melt the earwax to make it easier for removal.
But does it really do that?
Actually, it is a very dangerous thing to assume that it does so because number one, ear candles do not produce any suction at all. The idea that suction removes earwax is probably because some ENT professionals actually remove earwax using suction specialized equipment as well. Next, ear candles do not melt earwax, and this is because the amount of heat generated is insufficient to melt earwax. And even if it did, it would be actually very dangerous for the patient to have so much heat in the ear itself. Next, melting the earwax would have no purpose at all because the patient is actually lying down on his side and any melted earwax will flow back down into the eardrum and coagulate around the eardrum to cause immense pain or discomfort if it did happen in the first place.
That's right, Kenny. So not only is there no scientific evidence to prove that earwax cleans your ear or melt or remove the earwax, but actually there are potential risks of ear candling that can harm you. Firstly, it pushes the earwax even further into your ear when you push a candle in your ear. Actually, for a normal ear canal, the earwax comes out naturally by itself. This is because the skin in your ear canal, when it grows outwards, bringing the earwax along with it. So if you push the earwax even further into your ear canal, it is harder for the earwax to come out naturally by itself. Secondly, there's a potential to burn your skin because you're lighting a candle so near to your face, even to your eyes. I can't even imagine what kind of accident might happen if someone were to accidentally drop the candle onto you.
That sounds dangerous, Isabel.
That's right. And thirdly, the candle wax may block up the ear canal even more because when you melt a candle near your ear, if the candle wax falls into your ear canal, it will introduce some foreign objects to your ear and block up the ear canal even more. Lastly, there's a potential to puncture your eardrum when you insert any foreign object into your ear. I know some people, they like to use Q-tips or metal sticks to dig out the earwax from their ear. However, we really do not recommend this of putting any foreign object into your ear as there's a potential to puncture your eardrum if you're not careful.
Right. So, do ear candles actually help to clean my ears? There is no scientific basis for ear candling to clean out the ears. In fact, there is more evidence that points that it is potentially harmful for you and your ears itself. So Isabel, I would consider this myth to be busted.
It's busted indeed.
So for our next myth, it says that hearing loss only happens to old people. Right, this is a very common myth that, old people like myself get hearing loss and that young people such as Isabel does not get hearing loss, right? But actually as audiologists, we notice that younger and younger people are actually seeking help for hearing related issues at clinics. In fact, WHO has identified that nearly 50% of people between the age of 12 to 35 are at risk of hearing loss due to exposure to loud sounds such as concerts, music, or even clubbing, for example. So it is important to understand how our ears work And this allows us to understand how loud sounds can actually damage our ears and hearing regardless of age. So as you can see from the video itself, that sounds travel through air as vibrations. So the stronger the vibration, the louder the sound. So as it goes through the ear canal, it'll hit against a thin piece of skin called the eardrum. This in turn rock the three smallest pieces of bones in our body called the ossicles inside the middle ear. So in turn, the ossicles will press against a liquid-filled organ called the cochlea, and this generates pressure waves inside the cochlea. The pressure waves will then brush against little hair cells called the inner hair cells, and then this will actually generate impulse nerves to actually send acoustic signals up to the brain, and there is where the brain perceives this as sounds.
That's a really interesting video and so crucial to help us to see how we actually hear sounds through our hearing organ. How about we show them a real-life demonstration of how everyday sounds affect our hearing? So here, Kenny is actually holding some pipe cleaners, which we use to make a model of hair cells in the hearing organ, the cochlea. We'll play some everyday sounds from a typical day in the life of a young person, and you will see how these everyday sounds affect the hair cells in the hearing organ, the cochlea. So let's start with a typical day in the life of a young person, perhaps like myself.
That's right.
Haha, self-declaring young age. So in the morning when I wake up, I make myself a cup of coffee to start the day. And then I play from the radio some soft, relaxing music. As I listen to this relaxing music and sip my coffee, I feel so relaxed to start the day. As you can see, the soft music brushes over the hair cells very gently in a relaxed manner. In the afternoon, I go to the shopping mall to run some errands for my family. In the shopping mall, I hear the hustle and bustle of noises in the shopping mall. There's some music from the shopping mall going on. The shop goers talking to each other as they communicate about what are the things they want to buy. And the shop owners are calling out to the consumers to buy their wares. These are all medium-range sounds that are louder and will brush against the hair cells in a more brusque fashion than the soft sounds, but they still do not damage our hearing yet. I think hair cells are getting a good workout. In the evening, I go clubbing with some friends. Are you ready to come to the club with me for just 10 seconds? I'm going to open the door where the bouncers are and they're going to check my identity card. So everybody, including my hair cells, let's go clubbing in 3, 2, 1. Wow, I enjoyed myself so much at the club, but imagine, do you see the hair cells now? They are so damaged just by listening to loud sounds for only 10 seconds. I hope you see that's how loud sounds actually damage our hearing. And I hope that convinces you to want to protect your hearing. So let me just share with you 3 simple ways on how you can protect your hearing. Firstly, is to wear hearing protection when you are in noisy places. If you are in the train or in the airplane, you can wear hearing protection to block out the noise of the engine. If you are listening to a concert, you can wear special earplugs called musician's earplugs. And these can lower down the volume of the concert in general, but you can still listen to the music. Secondly, stay away from the source of loud noises. If you're walking by a construction site, you can choose to walk further away from it. If you are listening to an open-air concert, you can choose to sit at seats that are further away from the speakers. If you are in a country that celebrates Chinese New Year like ours, you can listen to the lion dance troupe at a safe distance.
That's right.
Thirdly, is to turn down the volume of whatever you're listening to. If you are watching TV or listening to the radio, you can set it at a volume that's comfortable for the whole family to listen to. If you're listening to music on your mobile device, make sure you set the volume at maximum at 80%. So as you can see, Hearing loss actually depends on our lifestyle choices and listening choices. So it can happen to anyone, not just old people.
That's right. So does hearing loss only happen to old people? Definitely not. So I consider this myth busted.
I don't need a hearing aid because I only have trouble hearing certain sounds. Kenny, why don't we give some examples of what certain sounds mean?
So actually, to illustrate this example, I would like to show this Wheel of Fortune quiz, right? So Isabel, what do you think this quiz answer is?
Oh, looks interesting. Maybe we'll ask our audience to also join in together with us.
Sounds good.
If you think you know the answer, type it in the chat. Let me see. The category is food. So perhaps the answer is, I like fish and chips.
That is close, but actually the answer is, I love mash and chops.
Oh, I was so close.
Close, but totally different dish altogether. That's right. So imagine you were a waiter taking my order and you serve me the wrong dish. I would be very frustrated, right? So let us hear some clips as to how it is like for someone with hearing loss. So first, I'll play a clip of someone with natural, normal hearing on how a bird sounds like when it is chirping. Notice how crisp and natural it sounds. So next, I'll play a clip on how it sounds like to someone with hearing loss. Now notice how muffled and indistinct it sounds like to the person with hearing loss. Next, I'm going to play a clip of a conversation in a restaurant, and it will be a running clip where the sound switches between someone with normal hearing and someone with hearing loss.
What would you like to eat tonight, Jennifer?
I'm gonna skip dinner, Grandpa. You know I'm on a diet.
What? Jenny, you're thin as a rail as it is.
Grandpa, please try to understand.
Then why don't you have at least some salad? And maybe a little fish? Here, how about this? Filet of trout in an almond butter.
Almond butter? That's really too much for me. I think I'll just have a salad.
Wow, I can't imagine how frustrating it must be for somebody with hearing loss. Actually, research shows that there are many detriments of hearing loss. Functionally, for people with hearing loss, it makes it hard for them to follow people who are talking very fast. And that causes them to have poor speech understanding in difficult listening situations like group conversations in a restaurant. They also don't hear very well conversations over the phone. This causes them to evict certain behaviors, like for example, they might turn the TV up very loudly, or they will keep asking people to repeat themselves. They might even pretend to understand what people are saying, like they keep saying yes to everything. This may cause misunderstandings between them and their loved ones. It may cause them to withdraw socially because they don't like to hang out with groups of people, because they can't follow conversations very well. This may lead to them having negative feelings about themselves and can lead to psychological problems such as depression and dementia. Overall, people with hearing loss actually have reduced quality of life. In recent years, there have been several studies shown about how untreated hearing loss actually increases the risk of dementia. And therefore, we are very interested in helping people with hearing loss regain back their quality of life.
That's right. It must be very difficult for these patients with hearing loss. Fortunately, it is actually easily managed through the use of hearing aids. In fact, using hearing aids can help patients to improve their listening function and audibility and localization of sounds. It also aids with the better communication as well. It also improves in the social relationship between the patient and their friends and loved ones as well. Definitely, it also boosts the confidence of the patients and improves their overall quality of life. So I would like to end off with a quote by Helen Keller. Helen Keller believed that blindness cuts us off from things itself, but hearing loss actually cuts us off from people itself.
That's right.
So hearing aids actually are very important, even though you are only missing certain sounds, because just like the example right at the start, missing certain sounds can lead to a lot of misunderstandings, and it also can increase the risk of mental and physical decline. And overall, we are also missing out on the important life experiences as well.
So will I say that we don't need hearing aids because we only can hear certain sounds, or we have problems hearing certain sounds? Actually, hearing aids do help people with hearing problems to improve their quality of life. So we'll consider this myth busted.
So Isabel, the next myth says that hearing aids are ugly and bulky. Wow, this is one of my favorite myths to debunk because I can show so many stylish and beautiful hearing aids nowadays. But commonly, when people think about hearing aids, they think of something like this.
What's that?
Oh, does it look discreet and nice on me?
It's
Isabel?
really big.
So, actually, with hearing aids, it could have been true more than 440 years ago, before Werner von Siemens, the founder of Siemens, actually invented the first hearing aids in 1878. So today, Signia, building on 140 years of heritage and Siemens technology, is one of the most successful and trusted brands in the hearing aid industry now. In fact, I would like to show off one of our most latest devices nowadays called the Stiletto. So actually the Stiletto is housed in a portable power bank that can have 3 charges on the go. Even the design itself is actually a design award winner for the Red Dot.
Wow, it's so slim and stylish.
That's
No
right.
wonder it's called the Stiletto.
That's right. So let me try putting on myself to let you see how it looks like on the ear itself, right? So you see now that even that it is on my ear and with my short hair, you can't really tell that I'm wearing a hearing aid as well. In fact, Isabel is actually wearing one of our latest devices called the Inseo AX. Why not you talk a little bit about it, Isabel?
Sure. Do you actually notice that I was wearing the Inseo AX? It's actually a customized hearing aid in the ear that you can wear that's designed to fit your ear canal. Doesn't it look like a hearable?
It's beautiful.
Hearables are like those earbuds that people wear nowadays. It's amazing that hearing aids nowadays can look so trendy and stylish. Just walk down the street and you can see anyone wearing a Bluetooth earbud. And nowadays, hearing aid wearers can look as trendy and stylish as those people. In fact, I have in my hand right now the Silk hearing aid. It's so small that it's almost unseen in the ear.
That's right.
Those people who wear this hearing aid, some even report that it's so comfortable that they forget they're even wearing a hearing aid. There are actually many different kinds of hearing aids to suit different hearing loss profiles. So to find out the hearing aid that suits you the best, please visit a hearing care professional. So would I say that hearing aids nowadays are ugly and bulky?
No longer.
No. I would say that hearing aids nowadays are discreet and trendy.
That's right.
Myth busted! Woo! Hearing aids are noisy and not helpful. You know, Kenny, I hear this quite a bit from people who are considering to wear hearing aids. But they tell me that, they have seen people or friends who wear hearing aids and they tell them that their hearing aids are very noisy or it doesn't really help them to hear well.
That's right. So actually, to debunk this myth, we have to touch on 2 topics. The first is how hearing aids work, and the second one is on how the brain perceives all these reintroduced sounds for someone with hearing loss. So technology for hearing aids has actually advanced tremendously since the last 140 years when it was invented. There are much more new features such as advanced noise management features that will make the sound output much more quieter and more natural for the patient. So why is it that this myth that hearing aids are noisy is still so persistent throughout the years, right? It's actually on the second topic on how human brains copes with all these reintroduced sounds. Because For someone with hearing loss, research has shown that typically the person will take about 7 to 10 years before they seek help for their hearing loss.
Wow, 7 to 10 years? That's a really long time.
It takes a really, really long time. So let me draw a simple analogy on how this person would feel. So imagine I'm a person who runs daily, right? Like this gentleman runs daily. If I were to run a 10 km run now, I would have no issues. And this is similar to the brain being very fit, right? Taking all this sound input day in, day out, because my hearing is normal. However, imagine this same gentleman, he stopped running for 7 to 10 years. Remember the same numbers of years that person with hearing loss will not get any hearing input? So if he does not have any input for 7 to 10 years, he will be very tired and unable to complete the 10 km run. So this is similar to the brain being unable to comprehend and adapt to the reintroduced sounds. So it is not true that hearing aids are noisy. It's just that the brain needed time, and given time, patience, and discipline, the brain will be able to relearn with all these reintroduced sounds, just like this gentleman, to be able to regain his fitness again.
That's right, Kenny. So actually, we always encourage hearing aid wearers to wear their hearing aids every day for at least 8 hours a day. You know, some hearing aid wearers tell me, Isabel, I stay at home most of the time. I don't go out. My house is quite quiet and I have no one to talk to. So I don't really wear my hearing aid. But actually, wearing your hearing aid for all waking hours helps to stimulate your brain and take in again all the environmental sounds that they have not heard in a long time. In fact, research shows that the more you wear your hearing aids, the more benefit you get from it. So the longer you wear your hearing aids, you're actually giving your brain the input and stimulation to start to learn again and differentiate between speech and environmental sounds. Not only that, you're also stimulating your hearing nerves, which will keep your brain active and stimulated, and that really decreases the risk of dementia.
Definitely, Isabel. So wearing a hearing aid is actually like a journey, right? There are many things to prepare, and the journey might take a while. However, the end result is definitely very rewarding for yourself and your loved ones.
That's right.
So do you think that hearing aids are noisy and not helpful for yourself?
No, in fact, I think that hearing aids are very helpful for people with hearing problems and will help to improve their quality of life again.
That's right. So I consider this myth debunked.
Bastard!
Now we have come to the end of the 5 common myths about hearing. I hope everyone enjoyed the webinar and learned more about the importance of good hearing. If you would like to learn a bit more about your own hearing, please click the link in the chat and fill up your personal particulars, and a local hearing care professional will contact you shortly.
Once again, this is Kenny and Isabel from Signia Hearing. Thank you for joining us today. We will now end off with a video testimonial on our latest Signia Hearing aids. See you in the next webinar. Bye!
Oh, we can't open it yet?
So what's in here?
It's incredible how much hearing plays a role in everything that we do. Hearing is really everything. It connects us to the world. All right, here we go. Big moment. You ready?
Wait, I'm ready.
They're both in your ears, so as I'm speaking to you, you should hear me pretty...
Crystal clear.
My voice, I can't believe how my voice sounds. It's,
Does it sound good to you?
yeah, clear. But when you put these in,
I'm back to me again. I could actually hear.
This technology takes processing sound to a whole new level.
This is something brand new, it's groundbreaking.
So what we're going to do now, I'll turn on some background noise just to see how you're able to hear with the background noise on. All right, so we have some background noise here. How does my voice sound to you right now?
It sounds very clear. It's perfect.
You're talking to me, there's background music on, and I don't have to look at you to read your lips. I'm hearing.
They're great. They work. They're doing.
All right, we have the truck passing by.
Yes.
I'm speaking to you right now. Can you hear
And
me?
I hear you clearly. Perfect. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They work. Excellent.
Good.
And this is the same company that I've been using.
It is actually.
No, they improved. They made a big difference. Big difference.
They're great. They're advanced.
Seeing our patients do so well with this new technology is what really makes everything worth it.
This is life-changing.